Hi everyone, and welcome to Dawn of War Dark Crusade. In my video about RTS tips and tricks, I said I was going to be playing it, so here we are. And we're going to be playing the campaign, not in normal skirmish mode, because quite frankly, the campaign is quite awesome. In fact, this is actually my second time recording it. I somehow lost the first bit of footage. I'm not even sure how it happened. OBS must have just not been recording or something. So anyway, we're going to be starting a new campaign, and I am basically going to be going over some of the points I went over previously because it's quite interesting what I said, and also, why not?
The planet Cronus, beset on all
Just gonna let the narrator
sides by
talk
the
right now.
tides of war, this once quiet colony became a savage battlefield. 7 armies clashed on this one world, each refusing to back down, each convinced it was in the right. From beneath the sands of Cronus' central desert came the Necrons, ancient machines bent on eradicating all life. But another evil already had its eyes on the planet. From the depths of the warp, the demonic forces of chaos arrived to enforce their claim. To oppose these fearsome powers, the planet's rulers in the Tau Empire sent their elite soldiers and sophisticated battlesuits into the fray. From the mighty Imperium of Man came the Imperial Guard, there to secure Cronus for the glory of the God Emperor. Like a green tide, the Orc Horde descended on Cronus, caring little for others' claims and sowing destruction in its wake. The Eldar, ancient enemies of the Necrons, emerged from their webway to pursue their own agenda on Cronus. And last came the Space Marines, finest and most uncompromising of the Imperium's soldiers. Seeing a world beset by aliens and heretics, they undertook a great purge. A dark crusade had begun. It could only end with the total victory of one of these factions, and the total defeat of all others.
Okay, so here we are on the race select screen, and I'm going to tell you a bit about some of the different factions because the stuff that goes on between all these different factions is really quite interesting. Okay, so to start off, you heard the narrator saying that it could only end with the victory of one and the total defeat of all others, right? Well, two of the factions, the Imperial Guard here, and the Space Marines, the Blood Ravens specifically, should actually be working together. In this universe, they're both part of the Imperium of Man, which is basically the human faction, and the laws state that really these two factions should be working together. But they both got orders to go to this planet and claim it. So basically, the Blood Ravens sent emissaries to the Imperial Guard and were like, okay, Imperial Guard, like these guys, the average soldiers, they sent the, we're now in charge of you. And then this guy, Lucas Alexander, kind of went like, no, hang on, we've also got orders to take this planet. We're following those orders, and the Blood Ravens are like, well, if you follow those orders, we're going to deem you heretics and then kill you all. And he was like, fine by me, so that's why they're actually fighting and shooting each other. You would actually get that explained by the narrator in the intro, in your intro, if you picked the Imperial Guard or picked Space Marines, but I'm actually not going to pick either of them this time. Also with the Space Marines, specifically this team, the Blood Ravens, the lore about them is actually quite funny. They are a split-off of the Blood Angels chapter, I'm pretty sure. And the Blood Angels have this curse in this universe where basically they see their Primarch sometimes when on the battlefield. The Primarch is basically like the big boss of all a certain chapter of Space Marines. Like these, the Blood Ravens and Blood Angels, they're the red ones, and he was the boss of all the red ones. And they sometimes, because of a curse they have, see him on the battlefield, go totally bonkers, and attack their own friends. For some reason, that doesn't happen with the Blood Ravens here. I don't really know why. But the other hilarious thing about their lore is that they are known, it's kind of a joke that goes around the internet, that these Space Marine chapters, the Blood Ravens, are known as the Magpies because they love just taking things. In fact, in the second Dawn of War 2, if you play that campaign, you can get a bolter, or a bolt pistol, which is basically this gun, right here, that belongs to the Sisters of Battle, which is another Imperial faction, and they basically somehow took it off them, and the Blood Ravens shouldn't even have it, but for some reason they have it. They just love to get their hands on way too many things that they really shouldn't have. And yeah, so that's pretty much a little bit of history about them. Then some history about the orcs, led by this big green mean guy Gorguts. He was actually in the first game, but the Blood Ravens in the first game, the very first Dawn of War, fought him so hard that he had to run away. In fact, that's actually considered very un-orc-like, because with orcs, basically, you run in, you shout "wah," and you smash the enemies or you die. Well, most of them anyway. Is one team called the Blood Axes, which loves sneaking around, using tactics, and running away. Or, well, not really running away, but like fleeing when you really should. Most orcs would just run in and get shot. But Gorguts here is not part of them, so I don't know why he runs away so much. Then the Tau Empire. The kind of hilarious thing about them is I didn't know this at first, but through again viewing stuff on the internet, I've now realized they're basically space communists. Really they are. They're all about serving the greater good, sharing the resources around everyone, and they also try and convert other people to the greater good. In other words, they try to convert other people to space communism, which I kind of find hilarious. And the funny thing is, even though that sounds kind of bad, they actually kind of considered one of the good guys in this, because they actually treat you quite well if you join them. Well, most of the time anyway. Then the Eldar, Taldir here, which are basically space elves, they've come to this planet to defeat the Necrons, these. In fact, that's just the plot they were going along with in the previous Dawn of War game, Dawn of War Winter Assault. And that's actually why the Imperial Guard was sent here. The Imperial Guard, led by this guy, was sent to kill her. But they found something else on the planet and then decided to go and take that instead, which is basically this gigantic war machine. Anyway, Taldia here is basically repeating what she was trying to do last time and stop the Necrons, because the Necrons here are basically soulless robots led by a bunch of gods that just want to harvest all life because they want the life and the souls and yummy. That's pretty much it. Their lore is actually just really straightforward. And then last of all, you have the Chaos faction. Chaos are basically space marines that turned evil a long time ago. Well, not necessarily. There's some that have turned evil recently, but most of them turned evil 10,000 years ago. In basically the 31st millennium. This is right now. It's the year 40,000. Before it was the year 30,000. That's when most of them turned evil. And this faction, the Word Bearers. This guy right here, Elephas, the leader of this little bunch of Word Bearers, actually appears in Dawn of War 2. And thing is, the canon ending of this campaign, he actually doesn't win. I'm not going to spoil exactly what happens, but yeah. Also, with the word bearers, they treat demons really harshly. Now, demons in this universe are basically manifestations of emotions that come together in this place called the Warp. Think of the Warp as an alternate reality where nothing makes sense. You can find planets where the gravity's upside down. Like, you start floating upwards into space and you just keep on going. And then other planets where it's just entirely lava. Some planets have, like, impossible Rube Goldberg machines everywhere, or like those famous paintings that make no sense. Some planets literally just are famous paintings. The Warp makes no sense. And Chaos likes to hide in the Warp because the Imperium, like these two factions and the third one's to battle, that isn't in this game, it's in the next game, the next expansion, Soulstorm, don't like to come after them in the Warp. Anyway, the Word Bearers treat demons quite harshly. So demons are basically manifestations of emotions in the Warp. Example, you get really angry because you stubbed your toe, and then you decide to take your anger out on your neighbor by beating him to death with a frying pan. Your anger will manifest in the Warp as a big, angry, red-looking demon called a Bloodletter. And the Word Bearers here use demons, basically use demons for their own gain, kind of like slaves, and the demons really hate them for that. Like, normally, the kind of safe, it's never really safe messing with demons in this universe, but the safer thing to do would be go to the demon and say, hey, would you like to be summoned into the real world? There's plenty of stuff for you to kill and plenty of souls for you to take. And then the demon might either say, no, bugger off, try and steal your soul, or say yes and come with you. The Word Bearers here basically put magical chains around the demon, yank it towards them, and then say, or you're coming with us, no choice. Which is, for this campaign, I'm actually going to be playing as the Chaos, so I'll just click start here and let the narrator talk about their intro.
The powers of Chaos manifested in the once pleasant Deimos Peninsula on the southern coast of Cronus, transforming it into a blasted hellscape. Summoned by heretical cultists, the Black Apostle Eliphas, the Inheritor, emerged from the war, leading a whole company of the Word-Bearer Chaos Legion. These heretical space marines had been to Cronus before, fighting against their loyal brothers during the dark days of the Horus Heresy. Eliphas had been but a young champion then, but returned a terrible Chaos Lord, ready to bring ruin to the galaxy at large. The Dark Crusade would be his proving ground. By defeating the many powers vying for the planet, he sought to gain favor with the dark gods he worshipped. Unless they could be stopped then and there, the Word-Bearers would strike deeper into the Imperium.
Yeah, so as you could see, the gray Space Marines fighting there were actually the Word Bearers. I know the narrator wasn't explaining that too well, but yeah, they were actually them. And the blue ones they were fighting were the Ultramarines, another team. Basically, Eliphas came here wanting to fight the Ultramarines, those blue guys, found the red guys, the Blood Ravens, went, oh, Blood Ravens, that's not Ultramarines. Oh well, who cares? For chaos, let's kill someone anyway, which I find quite funny. So, this is the tactical campaign map. And you can click on provinces and go and attack them. Since this is starting off on the player's turn, my turn, first, I've got these red arrows to indicate where I want to attack. And I think I'm going to attack this Orc province right here. And immediately tell that tutorial to shut the hell up, because I've heard it way too many times before and I know what I'm doing. So off we go to attack this Orc province. And if we win, we get to recruit a Raptor champion. Basically, this guy is a single guy with a jetpack. Normally, he comes in squads of 5, which you can upgrade to squads of 10. And he will start immediately in the mission instead of having to build him. So off we go. Yeah, here you can see this is where we build him. This is our honor guard. We currently have no honor guard. And we can't create units to go and attack with here. Because I don't think that's even a bonus a faction has in this campaign. I think one faction has that bonus in Soulstorm. Yeah, so off we go to the Rehan Jungle. Judging by that name, it's probably a jungle of some type. I don't know why I said that. I was just being Captain Obvious just then. Yeah, all the maps we're playing are basically, all the maps we're going to be playing in this campaign are going to be new for Dark Crusade. Like, what I mean by that is they were newly introduced in the Dark Crusade expansion. So you won't, if you have, for example, only played Winter Assault and the very first Dawn of War, you won't be seeing any maps you've already seen. And as you can hear, my average unit is quite insane. These are Chaos Cultists. Basically, I've seen a YouTube comment which compared them to insane lemmings or gremlins, which I think is quite apt. Oh no, that was right, lemurs. Insane... No wait, meerkats, that was it. Insane meerkats, which... Yeah, I think it's quite funny thinking of them like that. And this little guy you see here is a heretic. Basically, a dude put in some kind of device to be... and who's forced to build stuff. And as you can see, yeah, this is what I meant by Chaos using the warp and everything. They just basically teleport their buildings in and then they kind of self-build themselves. That's quite cool. Yeah, so what I'm doing right now is basically just building up the first 2 buildings, getting a Chaos Temple out to get the Chaos Space Marines, because they are way stronger than these measly little cultists. And I'm also just trying to control all the, trying to control a lot of strategic points in this map. Strategic points are basically, well, a strategic point where it gains you resource requisition, which I think stands for some kind of military term for just the resources you have in a battle. And yeah, you gain that you gain requisition to build most of your average stuff. Your other resource is power, generated by power generators, which is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, the resource is called power. It must be power. Then there are other things you can find in the map. Slag deposits, which produce a huge amount of power. I'm guessing you build some kind of giant drill in that. I mean, it looks like a giant power generator, but I'm guessing there's a drill inside the power generator. And then you can also capture critical locations on some maps. I don't think this one even has any, but on some maps you can find them. And if you capture enough of them, you win. based on the timer, which I think is basically meant to represent you controlling like all the points where you have like really good sniping locations and just great points to drop in troops, and then later on in a battle you don't see, your faction just wins. Or something like that. Then the third thing you can find, which are indicated by golden thingamajigs on the map, these relics, allow you to build your super duper awesome unit, the really tough one. For the Chaos faction, it is a gigantic demon with an axe that whacks people around like they were just baseballs. It's awesome. For the Space Marine faction, it's a giant tank. For the Orcs, it's a giant monster thing you can put Orcs in with guns strapped to it. And yeah, the other factions have also other really cool things. Like the Tau have some basically half T-Rex, half bird thing. It's awesome.
Whatever you desire.
Maybe I should have picked Tau.
I try to do your will. We serve.
Yeah, also a great thing about Dark Crusade is unlike in Soulstorm, in fact this is one of the main reasons I'm playing it, all your buildings stay. So for example, everything I build in this map will stay put once if I win and conquer it, which I plan to do. And then next time you play the map, they will all still be there. Which is great, which also means you can do some tactics that I've once done in another game called Star Wars Empire at War, where basically I built a bunch of I built a bunch of whatchamacallit, I built a bunch of turrets in the enemy base, and when they spawned they were just like, oh man, turrets, and got shot. It was really funny. Yeah, so as it turns out, well, I actually kind of knew because because it said that faction was on this map already. I'm facing the Orcs right here, and judging from where they came from, I'm going to say that their main base is somewhere down here. In fact, this is one of the great tactics you can do in this game, is just follow the unit you've ordered your unit to attack all the way back to where they're going. Okay, so apparently their base isn't here, but that's still good. This is still good because I get to kill their well, that's their builder unit. Yeah, I get to kill all their Orcs here because they have nowhere real place to run to, and I'm just going to keep sending my cultists at them because why bother letting the Orcs get away?
We're here for the Dark Gods.
Yeah, and then once my cultists are done killing all the Orcs here, which is taking ages because cultists hit like they hit like they've got pea shooters or something. Then I will go and just blow up this strategic point and take it for my own. It's a bit of a shame that the Orc base wasn't right here, though. If it was, I could have just easily taken it. And as you can see here, the AI is being none too smart. They're just sending their builder units right into the place where I already have units, basically creating like a kill field. They do that a lot in games like this, and I love it. But don't worry, the difficulty I have it on, medium, it is going to be a decent enough challenge. Like, I am not going to just steamroll everything. In fact, I'm playing kind of slowly here. I've just realized. You may think, oh, that's not that slow, but believe me, when I'm not recording or anything and don't have like talking to concentrate on, I go a lot faster.
At your command, we are legion.
Whatever you desire. Yes, we will work.
Yeah, also
faster.
because this, I'm planning to just try and find the enemy base quite soon and just go and destroy it. I'm pretty sure you won't actually get to see the giant baseball bat wielding demon. Well, not baseball bat wielding, but the demon that attacks enemies like they were baseballs, and he just smacks them around. I'm pretty sure you won't actually see it this time, but don't worry, you definitely will before this campaign is completed. Oh, that's dumb of them. The Orcs just decided to capture one of my single strategic points with just like a single squad, and they aren't even chasing me with all the rest of the squad, so I'm basically going to do a pincer maneuver where I move these Chaos Space Marines over here, and I've sent the cultists in here, so they're going to attack like right here, and then the rest of my squad is just going to come in and kill them. Yeah, in fact, as you can see, since my Chaos Space Marines are outnumbering them, they're getting killed just by that squad. Because you actually click on them and then take a look at their statistics, they actually have more melee skill than they do shooting skill. Okay, so since they sent in their very big tough unit, a big mech here, which is basically like a mechanic with a giant claw that he uses to crush people. Yes, that's what orcs have as a mechanic. I'm going to tell everyone to run away and flee back to the turrets so he gets shot up real good. Yeah, I might be losing cultists here, but cultists are a dime a dozen, so who really cares? In fact, if you look at the tooltip on them, it actually says there, Scout / Meat Shield. So even the game acknowledges they're just a meat shield. Okay, this is really good. What's happened here, that red line around them that's flashing, that means the morale is broken. You can see these cultists also have morale. If a unit's morale drops to 0, they become ineffective as fighting because basically they've become scared as shit. And with all the stuff that can happen in this universe, there are many, many reasons to be scared of shit. For example, the thing I mentioned before already many times, the giant bloodthirster, which is, as I said, a demon that basically hits enemies around like they were baseballs. If you had that thing chasing you, you would definitely poop yourself and run away. Well, I would anyway. I'm no way as brave as as many of the things in this universe. Like these cultists already, just for charging orcs, which I think is already like not twice as big as a normal person, usually wielding giant axes, they're already extremely brave. And as you can see here, they're actually winning, so that's a great achievement. I mean, sure, they do have like a Chaos Lord with them, Elephas, which would be super, super strong. But realistically here, in like the universe terms, if an orc hit you hard enough just once, you would die. They're that strong. Like without any weapons, if he punched you hard enough on the jaw, he'd snap your neck. A Chaos Space Marine or a Space Marine, he punches you hard enough in the jaw, your head goes flying clean off. And then probably like goes 3 blocks and then explodes against the wall. That's how strong they are. It's ridiculous in this universe. And then, even though that already explained like how strong that is, it gets even more ridiculous because then you can have things which just can kill Chaos Space Marines and Space Marines like they were nothing. Like this orc big mech here is an orc that has just grown so strong. He usually doesn't care about them, but now I'm guessing he does a bit more because his morale is broken. So he's taken 1 too many bullets. Oh, and he's actually regained all his morale. At first I didn't know why that actually happened, but now I actually do. You see, what happened was his entire squad died, and his squad has a separate morale bar to his. So basically all his buddies die, which makes him default to his original morale, which makes his morale go back up to full. I know it makes no sense. Like, realistically, if all your buddies just got shot to bits, like even orcs do know that is not a good thing to have happen. Yeah, so this is going pretty well so far because the Big Mech once again has all his morale broken because he has just way, way too many Chaos Space Marines and cultists shooting at him. And of course Elephas here is just chopping him in the back like a boss. Okay, I actually guess that's not too much like a manly or like really boss thing to do, but I mean it's what I'd do if I was Elephas. Why play fair, especially when you're against orcs? Orcs don't play fair.
The ground trembles with
well, some might, but Blood Axes definitely wouldn't. They're the sneaky ones I mentioned before. Oh, that's adorable! They got their builder unit trying to attack me. Oh, that never works out well. Especially when you're playing certain teams. Like the Space Marines, their builder unit can't even attack. It's just a servitor, which is basically a guy which is his head like his brain lobotomized, and he just sounds like, "What did you request?" "Yes, my lord," when you order him around. You can like order him into the enemies to like draw fire though. He can't attack, but again, he could make a useful meat shield. So the reason why I'm hanging back here a little is because I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to basically lure in the orcs because how do they have another one already? They're just insane with building those big mechs. Oh well, I don't really care that much because I've got more Chaos Space Marines coming. So sure, they might keep building big mechs, but I just keep on building Chaos Space Marine squads and upgrading them as well. That's actually one thing that you really should do in games like this. Try and keep up your units and like build them up constantly. and reinforce the squads in this game, and make sure like you have units constantly coming in. Like like, this might seem like quite a good army, but why let up there? Why not just build every single thing you can build and then send them out? Of course, I am making sure that I'm like taking good command of everything, like making sure to destroy this building and not just letting my cultists constantly run past it, because the gun on it will eventually whittle down everyone and kill them. Also, as you can tell, you can really create some good snowball effects in this game. Like, right now, because I just keep on sending in more Chaos Space Marines, just the amount of fire they can output just becomes higher and higher and higher. And because I got these cultists acting as an excellent meat shield, I'm able to just keep reinforcing them as they die, and as the orcs come in, I can just kill them really quickly because they'll get tied up in the cultists. And then I can always just retreat like this. They'll chase the cultists thinking like, haha, we've won, and then I go, no you haven't, stupid, turn around and just shoot them. This is actually working out worse than I thought. I am losing more cultists than I thought I would. The reason why I'm hanging back here, because I'm going to get this squad back here to take this... Another one! They are just nuts of the big mechs. Yeah, I'm going to take the squad, take it back here, capture this point, and build a little forward base here with a few turrets. Yeah, also that line you heard them say, you would be killed by traitorous hands. I'm pretty sure that there is actually one Chaos Space Marine team called the Alpha Legion, which actually still believe that they're part of the good guys and serving the Imperium, and so they'll actually shout for the Emperor, which is what the loyal Space Marines shout. And I'm guessing when they're in battles with other Chaos Space Marine factions like the Word Bearers, you just have so many really weird looks. Like they'd shout for the Emperor, and then the Word Bearer next to them would be looking at them like, dude, what are you talking about? For the Emperor? We're meant to kill him. Except Chaos Space Marines don't say dude. In fact, their reaction upon hearing for the Emperor might be turn around and just shoot the dude. Oh, there I go saying dude again. But, oh well. No, I'm not a Chaos Space Marine. Doesn't matter. Yeah, and as you can see, the Gretchen, which is the, as I already said many times, the Orc Builder unit, they die really, really quickly, and also they have a really small morale pool, which actually fits in very well with the lore. Like, Gretchen in the lore are just the biggest wimps ever. In fact, that's how they survive. They just anytime there's a problem, it's just their philosophy is basically the grunt philosophy from Halo. When in doubt, flee. I love that philosophy. I don't have Halo Wars 2 yet, but if I ever get it, I'm going to use that philosophy so many times if I ever start losing a battle, especially if I have grunts with me. I'm pretty sure they even say stuff sometimes like run away when they're getting shot at heaps. Also, this little blue glowy effect around the Chaos Space Marines you can see here, that's basically Chaos Corruption effect. So what happens is when you're near a Chaos building, as Chaos, or as a faction allied to Chaos, so yes, this can't even affect Eldar, except the fact that they hate being corrupted, and they try and stay really pure in this universe. So anyway, as I was saying, once they stay around a building, it actually increases their health regeneration. So, whereas other teams have all kinds of different medics, like the Orcs have the basically crazy doctors which love to just operate on people even when they don't need operating on, the Chaos team just stands near their own corrupted building and goes, ooh, this feels good. Ah, the glorious sight of just having way, way too many units for the enemy to handle. Oh, that's a lot of orcs. Okay, so even though I might be able to take them on here, some might, in fact, a lot of my units are just losing morale rapidly. So I'm just going to run and retreat back to this here. In fact, this is exactly why I built it. So I can run back here. Oh, come on! Okay, so they aren't following me. So what I'm going to do is build a stronghold here, which is the main building where I can also refresh cultists from, because you can't build cultists from strongholds. I mean, you can't build cultists from barracks, which I've kept on using over there. In fact, I'll get another squad of cultists. Send them all the way over here. But what I'm planning to do is get a control zone up, which is this little white zone, which you saw me like building the turrets in before. And then once that's up, once I got the control zone up, I plan to go and start building the vehicles, because the vehicles of every team are really, really tanky, which will just help me deal with the orcs so much more. Like right here, as you can see, it's kind of a little bit tough to handle. I am staying and fighting though, because I have faith in my Chaos guys here that they will eventually kill all these orcs. But as you can see, the enemy are kind of using the snowball tactic on me here a bit. Yes, as you can see, I am losing quite a few Chaos Spacemen in certain places, but also the orcs are just piling up dead here. And Elephas really doesn't seem to mind. His morale is almost at full. Then again, he probably hasn't been shot or chopped too much. And the Big Mech's almost down. That's the main thing which I'm waiting for to go down, because once he's down, they become like he's the biggest threat here. The rest will die much sooner. Ah, perfect. Here's the next bunch of cultists.
And in return,
Yeah, the Dark Gods, the things they keep mentioning, they're basically evil gods that the Chaos, that a lot of Chaos factions worship. And Khorne, the angriest of the bunch, loves it when heaps of things die and there's blood everywhere. So this is actually right now making him really happy.
whatever you desire.
Alright, now that the stronghold's finally done, I can finally build the machine pit. And do an upgrade that allows me to build more vehicles.
Whatever you desire.
Another thing that's great about this is that if I accidentally kill one of my cultists, because I'm actually using an ability here that drains their health, and it's basically like whipping them to get them to work faster. It drains their health, but makes them build the building much faster. And that's what I was waiting for. Building a couple of defilers, and then also building a couple of tanks. A defiler is basically a demon with those magical chains I talked about before, tied up and forced to work for you inside a giant spider tank. Yeah, the lore is kind of just insane for this universe. And there aren't many factions that actually try and be nice to the demons and like offer them a place to like basically go, hey, would you like to stay in this defiler? We won't chain you up. We'll just let you kill lots of stuff. Think of it like a mobile holiday home. In fact, if I was ever a Chaos Lord, that's how I would treat demons.
How can I serve? We are chaos.
I bet a lot of other Chaos factions would look at me like, what? Seriously? You're trusting a demon? And that may be my undoing, but I just try and work with all the really little weak demons and get them on my side and like use them to put inside the tanks, because I bet they wouldn't betray me, especially if I have spells to take them out of the tanks, because then they'd just be a little weak demon again. Yeah, so as you can hear from that war cry, the battle is lost. Even the Chaos factions, which normally are quite bonkers, insane, and will just charge into battle willy-nilly with no regard for their own lives, when shit hits the fan, really, really hits the fan, they will still, like, panic. Yeah, so this is the main reason why I wanted to build defilers. They just can soak up so much damage. In fact, I got another one coming right here, and it's going to queue up even more, because even though I don't have enough population to support them, I can just queue them up in the building, and then when I do have population, because one will die, it will, just come. Yeah, so the main reason why this has actually all happened is because I've kind of failed to capitalize on the orcs not having many units at the very start of the game. If I went and just straight up attacked them head on at the very start, I bet this wouldn't have happened and I could have actually won the game a bit sooner. But oh well, I'm still winning. Because I pretty much pushed all the orcs back, and all the orcs here can't deal with my defilers, and they're being idiots and dressing them in close combat, which is what you won't want to do, because, well, would you want to verse a giant crab thing who can just pick you up and just squish you in his hands and throw you around? No, I wouldn't. And also, another... Seriously, them and their big mechs. I'm getting really, really sick of this. Oh! Oh, that was hilarious. Just that all flying through the air with that dumbfounded look on his face, like, what's happening? Why is I being thrown? Okay, finally the big mech's down. Now everyone concentrate on the killer can. A killer can is basically an orc who's been wounded too much and put in this thing, and like basically put in a walking tank. Yeah, it's not really too fun for them when that happens, because unlike with the Space Marines, the tanks aren't always designed to be very spacious or comfy. In fact, Chaos Space Marines hate that as well, because they love the thrill and feel of battle when they're inside a Dreadnought, which is basically the same as a Killer Can. Wait, not Killer Can, Death Threat, that was the name. Killer Can's when it's Gross inside of Gretchen. Yeah, when they're inside that, they can't really feel like the kick of the gun in their hand and stuff like that, so usually most Chaos Space Marine Dreadnoughts end up turning insane. Yeah, so what I'm doing here is getting one Defiler to attack this Orc here, to keep him busy, and then getting everyone else to shoot the base, because when you kill the base, you just straight up win. Like, I don't even have to attack the rest of the stuff. So, as you can see, wait, that's the wrong faction. Those are the Slanesh worshippers, not word bearers. Yeah, basically Slanesh is one of the Chaos gods. He or she, yes, they refer to as both, basically the Chaos god of, like, lust, passion, quickness, and also violence as well. So, as you can see here, we've got a war gear selection. Now, how the campaign in this works is when you win a battle or do specific goals. In fact, I can view them pretty soon. For example, one of the goals was win one battle, so that's what I've done here. And because of that, I get to choose one of the upgrades here, except this one. This one, Demonic Ascension, basically Elephas here will become favored by the Chaos Gods, and they will turn him into a half-demon, which is allowed to live forever, and is allowed to kill forever in the name of Chaos. That's basically what all Chaos Space Marines strive to be, a Demon Prince, which is this. So what I'm going to give him is a huge scythe with, it basically plays scythe. So as you chop people with this, you give them all kinds of horrible disease. Basically think AIDS, herpes, and something else horrible, all in one as soon as you're even nicked by it. Also, it can chop through armor and metal really good because it is a power weapon. Power weapons basically have an energy field around them in this universe that allows them to cut through things really easily. So, now I'm just going to click end turn, and I'm going to wait until all the other factions do their moves. And as you can see there, Gorguts, which is part of the leader of the Orc faction, was attacking another place. When they attack someplace, you see a red line, and either it turns green if they win. For example, the Space Marines here won against the Imperial Guard. Or, if they lose, it will turn red, and they will say something like Gorgut said, like, let's get out of here. So he actually failed attacking and taking over a level 1 Tau province, which I'm just face-palming at, like, mentally right now, because, I mean, come on, Gorguts. I have a level 1 army, and I managed to go and beat that. Like, a level 1 province. Yeah, so now I've went and trained the Honor Guard, so next time I start a battle, I'll have a jetpack dude with me. And also, I could potentially, in fact, yeah, I will reinforce this place with a bunch of Chaos. Oh, I actually can't do any more Chaos Space. Oh, well, one squad is good enough, because when this starts, if they attack me right now, I'll have the Commander there, Elephas, this guy, and one squad of Chaos Space Marines, as well as all the buildings I've built before. So if someone spawns in a location that they did before, like how the Orcs had a base in that certain location you saw me attack, I will have turrets just already ready for them. In fact, I have turrets and that vehicle building place, and all my power generators, and all the stuff I had before, so I'll just be gaining resources really quick, and then I'll also be able to just attack them straight away. Yeah, so I'm going to go and attack them on this province. It's strength 3, so they are probably going to have a slightly bigger force than last time, but I'm pretty sure this map is smaller, so the match actually be maybe quicker. And if we win, we get another Raptor champion, so another jetpack dude. And by that name, I'm guessing this is some kind of swamp. Oh yeah, it is a swamp. I remember this map from playing single-player skirmish maps. I actually really like it because it's kind of small.
We serve.
which means that this match shouldn't take that long at all.
We need
To
enemies.
serve, Master.
I see.
We're here for the Dark Gods. Serve, Master. But of course, Master.
Yeah, as you can see, Elephas here is now wielding his lovely plague scythe.
We are chaos. Chaos is strong.
Huh, plants here are actually quite nice. Pity they aren't going to be around for long if I conquer this province. Basically, as you can see, chaos corrupts everything, so the plant will probably turn into something horrible that will try and eat your face as soon as you go near it. Chaos energies tend to do that to whatever they touch.
I am here to lead you.
In fact, because chaos makes so little sense, probably whatever you think of will probably exist in some kind of chaos planet. Like, for example, you should think of a mutant Venus flytrap
Master.
that can shoot molten bolts of lava that explode into killer puppies. That probably exists somewhere in the chaos waste somewhere on some planet. It really is just that crazy.
Thank you, Master. For the great powers. We can serve you. We are eager to please.
Man, I love the lines of the cultists. At first I didn't too much and I thought them as kind of weird, but they just kind of grew on me. Just how much they sound like little insane gremlins. It's kind of adorable.
Ours for the taking. Grant us the gifts of the Chaos Gods, Great One.
We have captured a location.
Also, when playing any of the Dawn of War games, one of the things... Are you joking? First thing I find is just a Big Mac.
Bless us, Great
Yes, as I was saying, one of the things that you might want to keep an eye out for is how much requisition you have. What I mean by that is, instead of constantly reinforcing your squads, like your little cultists and everything, pay attention to how much you have so you can build stuff like those, Okay, they also have an orc war boss here. I was not expecting that at all. Run away already, you stupid little cultists. I don't think they're going to. Okay, this is a bit bad, but I'm not going to panic. Because even if they kill everyone here, including Elephas, I can just rebuild Elephas. And also, as well as that, they will probably take a little while destroying my buildings, which is good. And in that time, I can just build a sneaky old little turret back here and get a bunch of these guys to just work faster and harder to get the turret built quick. Yeah, the cultists are probably right, screaming about how the enemy is too strong, but I am not going to let them run away because I need this thing to be built. I mean, I need these orcs to be killed. Ooh, I think Elephas may be going down at any moment now. In fact, I'm gonna get him to run away so he doesn't die, and also the Chaos Cultist squad right here. I'm gonna tell them just to go in shoot mode. In fact, Gorgus is being an idiot. Just going and attacking my building. This is awesome. I can just tell everyone to pull out their guns and shoot them in the back. Yeah, so the computer sometimes gets really one-minded like this, where really he should be killing all my turrets and everything, because this building is rock hard. He just goes against the building and then loses like that.
Yes, right away. We will
Yeah, and here's the great thing about basically the effects. Oh wait, it's actually not even happening yet. I think I have to do some research on this building here before I get that effect I told you about before, where your buildings will start healing your units. Because Elephas's health here is not going up very fast at all. I'm not even sure which one of the researches it is. I think I got it by just getting this Desecrated Fortress upgrade, which is like the main base upgrade.
Enemies of the Dark Gods, beware!
Yeah, so even though I'm pretty like beat down here, I'm going to like my units are pretty beat down and everything. I'm going to try and just capture a lot more points and also build up listening point posts on the points I do have, because yes, turtling may be a good tactic and just staying in one place and just guarding it really well, But in this case, the orcs probably own
It
everything
is
over here,
ours
which means if
for
I
the
don't capture stuff, they're
taking.
going to start having a land advantage on me, and by that I mean they'll just own more land. Oh, great. Yeah, one squad of cultists is not going to be able to go and kill them, so I'm just backing off for a tiny while until I get both of these units grouped together like I have here, and then going to attack them. Oh, change of plans! And that change of plans is run back to the turrets.
We're here
Yeah,
for
I'm
the
really
dark
enjoying
gods.
turrets this round. Normally they aren't so useful because they just build a huge mass of Chaos Space Marines, but this time they're proving extremely useful. Saved my base already once, and now they're just going to shoot up all these orcs. Doing a really good job. Let's build way more turrets. I also really love the look of them. I love it how everything with Chaos just has like these basically awesome mouthpiece things grafted on, like you can see here. I was about to say I don't even know how they do that. It must take so much work to like graft all that on and make it look so good. But then I remembered it's Chaos, and basically you don't have to graft anything on. It will kind of just mutate itself like that. Oh boy, that's a lot of orcs. And I may actually end up losing this. Come on, build a little quicker. Oh yeah, in your face, turret got built. This is actually really good because while they're concentrating on all of that, they're losing a lot of units. Like this only costed 100 requisition to build. Each orc this building ends up killing, which I'm pretty sure it's killed already like 3, and this one as well. Costed 20 requisition to build. And it doesn't cost too much to repair this either.
Yes, master. Meeting resistance.
Oh, they left the building alone. That's great. Because now the building can kill this bunch better, and the ones that are here will just get overwhelmed by my forces.
My life is forfeit. Yes, yes.
Do you hear
It's a pity this guy hasn't really healed that much, because if he had, then I could send him in then I'd want to send him in a lot more than I do right now. Because if he dies, I'm gonna have to spend requisition in the main map, which means I have to wait turns rebuilding him, since he's a kind of special unit. And as you can see here, yes, the orcs may have taken over this, but they're just attacking the power generator. And I mean, look at that puddle to build my building has caused. That has got to be worth it in resources. And they haven't even taken it over, so once, in fact, before they're even done killing it, I can just rebuild it right here.
Thank you, Master.
We are taking fire.
Where you like, Lord.
Oh, that's not really too much of a worry for me, because
Thank you.
once, like, sure they will follow them, but once they follow them back to the guns and everything, they are toast. And there the orcs go again! Just totally Big Mac crazy. Ah, I'm actually doing a pretty good job kiting him here. He's hardly getting many hits on the coal. Oh, spoke too soon. There goes one. Picked him up and opened him up like a clam. Yeah, and down he goes. That's actually a huge amount of resources down the drain right there. And they're not doing very well, also faring against everything, including like this raptor here and everything I have over here.
How can I serve?
Yeah, raptors are the names for the Chaos Jetpack guys. For Space Marines, you call them Assault Marines. And for Imperial Guard, they don't really have them because none of their people are really strong enough to go in there with close combat weapons and really win against many of the factions. They're usually quite weak, actually. Well, weak compared to everything else. You're basically getting regular humans to fight superhumans, that kind of thing. By regular human standards, some of the Imperial Guard actually are quite strong. Which really gives them an advantage when they fight other humans. And they actually do fight regular humans quite a lot because, when it comes to Chaos, there aren't just Chaos Space Marines continuously. You have guys like these cultists, and then there's also just some Imperial Guard are basically just known as heretics because they might not even turn to Chaos. They might just turn traitor on their original side, like on the Imperium, and turn traitor on the Emperor, and for their own reasons, but not go and join Chaos. They're just referred to as heretics, and they're one of the things that the Imperial Guard is really good for taking down because it's just sending men against other average men. But when versing Chaos Space Marines and stuff like that, you generally, one of the tactics they actually use is just send in enough Imperial Guardsmen until you have enough to kill them, even if he dies. Ah, good, one of my, oh, yeah, that's what I was still waiting on. Waiting on my upgrade to finish so I can finally build the vehicle building and get more defilers like I did last time. I was about to say that you might actually, about to say that it's a pity there's no relic here, but then I remember there actually is a relic. I own it. It's right here. These orcs are idiots. I love it. They just keep sending in people with like this meat grinder got set up over here. Turrets, everyone. Even that Big Mac's not gonna live. I'm sure he's right in the middle of everything, but he's dead now. Like all those orcs are dead, and he's not gonna last very long. I'm completely surrounded. I was wondering when his morale is actually going to start start dropping, because he's getting shot at by so much. Oh, oops! I forgot to turn off the forced work, so I accidentally just basically whipped the cultist to death. Yeah, I know it's kind of cruel, but that's exactly how Chaos works. They are very cruel. And I mean, I didn't mean to do it. I meant to keep the dude alive. I forgot about it because I was way too busy concentrating on the Big Mac, which I deemed as a huge threat. Ah, perfect. Yeah, that white thing I was talking about before. I'll just show it again. Like this, it's called a control zone. You can't build the buildings outside of it.
Thank you.
I just realized it's actually quite a good choice that I chose to build this building right here, because just like the stronghold and everything, it is very tanky. So the orcs will start like chopping this building first, and they'll take a very, very long time to get through it.
Whatever you desire.
Now I can just start researching heaps of vehicle upgrades and just get a ton of defilers and also predators. Predators are the chaos tanks. They're awesome. The voice lines they have are just awesome as well. They say stuff like we should grind them into our iron treads. We have to hear them pretty soon because I'm pretty sure I'm going to build them.
Yes, master.
Just, again, the AI. I love it when they're so stupid in the game. It seems to take advantage of them so well. And with all the research I'm doing, I'm pretty sure soon my Chaos Space Marines are going to become better than orcs are in close combat, and that's saying something. Ooh, Khorne Berserkers. These guys, as I said before, and I was mentioning Khorne, he's one of the Chaos Gods. He's basically super angry all the time. But one of the things in the lore about him is basically he's always angry. And you don't make him happy, you just make him less angry. Actually, you can make him happy, but you have to do a lot to make Khorne happy, like killing an entire planet's worth of people or something. In fact, if that happened, he'd probably turn you into Demon Prince. Maybe not. Maybe you'd need to do about 3 planets. But you do enough of that, and Khorne will really, really start liking your work and everything. These guys here, Big Mechs, I mean not Big Mechs, Mega Armored Knob, that's what they're called. They are a lot stronger than normal orcs, because they basically are walking tanks at this point. They've clad themselves in that much armor. But one of the really funny things to know about these is if you hit them with an artillery shell and get them on their backs, they're kind of like a turtle, they just can't get up. Well, I know some turtles can get up. Like, I actually have a pet one, and it's a long neck turtle, and it uses a really long neck to just flip itself upright. It's quite interesting actually watching it happen. Not that I flipped it upside down intentionally, of course. It just done it itself. It got spooked, ran off its rock in its tank it has, and landed on its back, and then flipped itself back up. Yeah, but like I was saying, just like turtles, some orcs just, those kind of orcs just can't get off the floor when you knock them down.
Bless us, Great One.
Didn't mean to do that.
Kill! Kill! Why aren't we killing it?
Yeah, so, as you can hear, the Khorne Berserkers, they are utterly just mad about killing. And they are a really great close combat unit. And the other great thing about them is they have no morale, because they are just that bloodthirsty. They don't care, like, what you're doing to them. They will just keep chopping.
Don't provoke me! Fight on! It will be done! Fight on! It will be done!
Yeah, also they're a really, really good tanky unit. Like, as you can see, they always had so much attack in them before I brought in all the rest of my units. And they were still just doing really well. Gonna throw a grenade here at that guy. Yeah, like that. Like when he fell on his back, realistically, he should not be able to get up. A single grenade, the Chaos Space would just throw it and be like, "Hey loser, why can't you get up?" And then just loom over him and just continuously shoot him in the face with his gun. Of course, when doing that, you should always stand at an angle where this huge mega armored knob can't hit you, shoot you, or hit you with his claw. Like, you would stand above his head and then shoot at him, because it'd be pretty hard for him to, like, bend his arm all the way over and hit you in the head. I mean, it might be possible, but if I was killing those, that's how I take my chances. Oh, so the orcs started bringing their own vehicles, the war trucks. The good thing about them is if you position your units right, you can get them to bomb their own orc units because they have splash damage. But I'm just going to get everyone to retreat here, even the Khorne Berserkers, because even though, well, realistically, they wouldn't be retreating at this point, they'd just still be chopping and yelling. I'm going to get them to retreat because I want them to live, and otherwise I waste the resources on units. Ah, and their war truck is almost dead. And I just realized I actually have a lot more unit upgrades I can get to get more units. But I may even get a second squad of Khorne Berserkers considering how well this bunch is doing.
Purpose.
And of course I want to get more Defilers and tanks because they're awesome. In fact, for a mod that I may install at some point, it's called the Ultimate Apocalypse mod. It makes it that you can just have heaps and heaps and heaps of units, and even get some of like the really huge units that really only feature in the lore otherwise and don't feature in the regular Dawn of War games, called Titans. For that, basically, just think of the screen being zoomed out 3 times, like zoomed out further than it can right now, like 3 times as much. And then as well as that, then think of a unit which basically is as tall as that screen is zoomed out. It's awesome. That's a Titan. Oh, for a minute there I thought they had another war buggy because they heard like a massive, like a kind of artillery shell being fired. But it actually wasn't the case because these Defilers here, if you put them on like the shoot mode, you see that like orange bar right there? That's actually like indicating to you how long it's taking for the thing, like for the how long it's taking for the artillery shell they have in them to be loaded, for like the next one to be loaded. So all that is nasty. Yeah, I love the executions in this game. All kinds of stuff like that just happens. Ah, good. It's finally finished with all those upgrades. Now I'm going to upgrade it to the last level, and then once it's done doing that, I'll be able to build the demon pit. The first thing I already built here, the sacrificial circle, is where you can summon pink horrors, which are the demons of Tzeentch. He's basically the god of trickery and screwing everyone over. One of the jokes that's made about him, which is actually true, is everything is just as planned. Oh, he lost the battle just as planned. You like destroyed his favorite champion just as planned. That kind of stuff. You humiliate him. Oh, he planned that. Yeah, another quite funny joke that just basically I've seen on WAM 40,000 subreddits and stuff is just a joke about Creed, because in the tabletop version of the game, there's this one Acadian general, which is like an Imperial Guard general called Creed, and he's meant to be such a brilliant tactician that he can make nearly anything come on all stealthy, except you can use it on any unit in the bigger battles, like the Apocalypse battles, which, as I said, that's like a lot like the Apocalypse mod. So one of the things you can do with him is get him to like stealth in Titans, which makes no sense. Like, you see all these like chaos just hiding, like standing around the battlefield, and then you just hear like boom, boom, boom in the distance, and they're like, "What's that? Is it a Titan?" And one's like, "Nah, nah, nah, don't worry, it's just an earthquake." It's that generally that kind of silliness.
Whatever you desire.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, that's what I meant by just the awesome voice lines. Oh, and this is a really good research to do. It's basically the ultimate chaos research when you don't include the Apocalypse mod, which I don't have right now. Researching it improves the damage of the tanks of any vehicles I have. I'm pretty sure, or maybe just the tanks. Either way, it's really good to have. It also improves the health, and it allows you to get the Bloodthirster. Oh wait, oh wait, oh, I think I realized. I just thought I was like limited to 1 or 2 squads of Khorne Berserkers, but I'm pretty sure I can build much more, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to do. Because they are they are such a tanky close combat unit compared to just average cultists. And that bit of research I'm doing there is the Mark of Khorne research. Basically, it allows the Khorne Berserkers to paint the Mark of Khorne on the floor. It's like demonic graffiti, and it's so terrifying it makes enemies run away. It's kind of funny.
I am not your bootleg.
I always thought he said, "I am not your bootleg," which I thought he was like referring to something like peg leg, but he actually kind of says it mumbly, so what he's actually saying there is, "I am not your bootleg," like, I am not the guy who will lick your boots to gain your favor. Yeah, this is the research which I meant. I'll do it right now. Yeah, see what I meant? It's painted on the floor. And I'm pretty sure I got a big enough army here, so I'm going to attack them right now. In fact, it's so big right now that I don't even have, I can't even, like, select it all at once.
This errand is beneath me. The weak fight back.
Oh, that's actually, oh, that's a lot of orcs. Good thing I brought defilers. And, like, everything else I have. Yeah, they are not going to enjoy the defilers and tanks I brought. As you can see, they're already kind of ripping them off. Sure, my chaos squads may be getting a bit beaten up here, but they can take it. They're going to take it for this season. Yeah, I am kind of using mob tactics here, but it is a little hard to, like, individually grab everyone and start moving them away individually here. Also, there actually are some squads here which you would constantly want to be charging the enemy. Oh, Elithos went and got his entire squad of, whatchamacallit, to kill. Cultists. So instead, I'm just going to join him up with the, Berserkers, because then it means he actually shares his morale. So basically, the Berserkers, he witnesses so much of their bloodthirstiness, he kind of just becomes bloodthirsty as well, and insanely brave. Okay, so... Yep, that's done. That research for the tank is done. Alright, of course. Building a demonic...
We will build it for you. We're here for the Dark Gods.
Yeah, once that is finished, you finally get to see the Bloodthirster. This is what I was talking about before, critical location. It's got like this, I don't know what that is. Support struts around it. So you know it is one. Oh yeah, also a tip when playing this. I right now have persistent bodies on the highest it can be, which means all the things that have died stay around. But since Dawn of War is quite an old game, the more bodies there are, it really makes the game chug and lag sometimes, and as well as that, it can potentially make it crash. So if you have basically a potato computer, definitely don't do that. Oh, and if you don't know what the term potato computer means, it basically means very low-end PC, like not very graphically intensive, doesn't have that many good parts in it, and that kind of stuff.
Of the Chaos God's great one.
Where is the blood I was promised?
We are chaos.
Oh, I love their lines.
Chaos is strong.
It's like, assume I've promised them blood for
Whatever you
getting them to
desire.
capture that location, which
But
if I
of
was
course
a Chaos Lord, I would have actually done that. Yeah, to get Corn Berserkers on my side and
is strong.
working for me, I would promise them blood, definitely, because that's what they want.
As you wish, but set us loose!
In fact, one of the kind of like a dream Corn Berserkers have is to be sent in worlds where there's just heaps of stuff they can fight. So that's why they actually like love versing orcs, which they are versing here, because in the lore, the orcs actually are like fungus and they reproduce by spores. So when you kill one, it releases heaps of spores, and then there's just more orcs afterwards.
We will serve you.
So one thing you could potentially do is, like, because orcs take a little while to get organized and everything, one thing you potentially could do is go and find a world with orcs on it, kill all the orcs with your Corn Berserkers, and then every time they start getting bored or fidgety, you just send them back to the same world to kill more orcs, because if you don't let the orcs get organized or pick up many of the weapons the previous orcs have left there, like if you just destroy all the weapons, they kind of revert to becoming feral orcs, so they just like start running around with Tarzan, like nothing but a loincloth on, and just using like really crude primitive stone axes and that kind of stuff. And yes, your Corn Berserkers will end up just killing them by their hundreds and thousands, but you just make sure that the orcs have grown enough so there's plenty of orcs, and then potentially you can even get the spores and put them on new places, so your Corn Berserkers have more stuff to fight. Or, you know, you also could just go and continuously wage war on different planets, give the Corn Berserkers a nice variety of what to fight. The good news is, though, is if you don't give them variety, they won't care. As long as they're shooting or killing something, they'll be happy.
Of the dark gods. Enemies.
Yeah, also some of the reactions like the units do in this are not like, it's like when it comes to the lore about them, it's not what they'd be doing at all. Like, for example, if I told, like if I really wanted the Chaos Lord and had a Defiler on my side, and I told it to attack the enemy, and like it was able to do so, and the demonic chains holding it would be holding it back when it done that, it would definitely not be sitting around. Okay, so since I have the Bloodthirster built, I'm actually just going to back off right here so I don't completely destroy the enemy base, because I really wanted to show you it. And it's going to take a little while before the whatchamacallit is built. It's going to take a little while before the Chaos Champion is built, because you need to have a Chaos Champion in like a squad to actually summon it, and otherwise I have to use Elephos, which I don't want to do because that'll end up killing him. So instead I'm just going to go over here and wreck all these orc buildings. I can kind of leave this Defiler here. Seems to be doing well enough. Oh wait, no, I don't want to destroy the main orc building. Oh, I don't believe it, I completely left my tank behind. So which one of these Chaos Squads actually has the... Oh, the champion's still building.
We shall capture it. Anything for the great powers.
Yeah, so while I'm waiting for that to build, I may as well, like, build up a few more
My life
turrets
is
around different
forfeit.
places, like over here especially, and upgrade it as well, because, as I said before, when I go on this map again, anything I build and, like, have fully completed, even if it's, like, burning and almost destroyed, will be there next time, and it will be at full health as well.
Whatever you desire.
Okay, so now it's finally built.
We will
I am just
serve
going to
your
get this second squad of Chaos cultists to go capture that,
power.
while I summon the Bloodthirster with these ones. So this is the champion here, and now you can watch what happens when it's summoned. Basically, he gets possessed, flies up in the air, really high, and then just hits the floor, and it explodes, knocking the units, like, quite far away. In fact, it actually reduced their morale a heap. And now, I'm going to order it to immediately attack the orcs, because this thing loves battle so much that it actually slowly dies when it's not in battle. Originally, I thought that's what normally, like, because that's in the lore what normally happens to demons. You get Chaos Demons, when they, oh yeah, this is what I meant by the, yeah, baseball, just, it will whack units like that, it's awesome. Like, normally Chaos Demons will just, slowly dissipate when they're in the normal world and not in the warp. And I thought that's what was normally happening when I was playing this game. But no, it's just the Bloodthirster, because like, he craves battle so much, he like hurts himself or something somehow, kind of edgy when you think about it, actually when he's like not in battle. Yeah, so even though it may be looking a bit bleak for some of my units, don't worry, I've got this in hand. Like, that war buggy is never going to escape. The Bloodthirster is just going to town. My cultists are going to town. Those get restored at the same time. It's all wonderful. Yeah, this guy's just an idiot. I told him to retreat because he's getting shot too much, and I want the squad to reinforce, but he's not doing it. Yeah, he's definitely not living through that. And down goes their base. Yeah, for some reason, and I don't know why, but the enemy factions in this really don't actually attack you too much. Like, I can actually go and attack the main orc stronghold right here if I want, but for some reason, and that means also Gorgoth's here and the orcs can go and attack, yeah, as you can see there from the arrow, it means he can also go and attack me, but for some reason he just isn't doing it. Oh, I didn't even notice, but apparently the previous raptor I had actually went and died last time. Yeah, so it's actually going on for a decent amount of time, and I think this is the perfect length for a full episode. This is basically how much I recorded for the last episode, so I'm going to call it here, and I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little about the lore of Warhammer 40,000. Knowing me and how much I talk about it, you're probably going to learn more about it next time. And I hope it was fun learning about it as well, with my own unique spin on it. So anyway, bye for now.